Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to Greatest Good Tarot. I hope you're doing well and keeping out of mischief. Oh dear. Hope you had a good weekend. Mine wasn't so much. There was highlights. We, indoors and I got out and about. But yeah, for the new boys and girls, had an accident years ago. Blah blah blah. Don't already. PTSD's flaring up a little bit at the moment, which is fun. Always fun. Oh, isn't it great? Got a laugh. But so bear with me as we go through this shenanigans and stuff like that. If I could organise it, if I could plan it, it would be a hell of a lot easier. It just happens. So fun times. And it just gives me an opportunity to, being like head of the class. Oh, look at me. When I notice it, I lean further into the stuff I spout to you guys and girls. So, leaning into faith, leaning into journaling, leaning into stuff like that, grounding myself, trying as much as possible. Yeah, between kind of needing sleep because it's just energizingly kind of... technical term. Fun times. Anyway, so I don't know how this week's going to go. Just bear with me, please. Anyway, so let's go into the this question. Now, it didn't get any upvotes. Actually, before I do that, I did notice, and I can't remember, this is off the top of my head, so apologies for not getting your name right, like YouTube thing, URL, but not URL, username. That's it. I know you're a girl and you're in Yorkshire. Apart from that, girl in Yorkshire girl, I don't know. But anyway, mentioned that they had been unsubscribed and they just found out and they rectified the situation. Yeah, fun times. Isn't it great? So YouTube not only is from certain other channels, including ourselves, not necessarily shadow banning, but kind of limiting the reach of what's happening. But it's also on the other side unsubscribing people who want to be subscribed. Patreon.com/Greatest Good Tarot. You can become a free member over there. The paid members, if you want to upgrade, get extra goodies and extra sexy. And the memberships over here will be closing on the 1st of March. And then we'll be exclusively over there. So we've got a little bit of a safety raft, a safety net over there, as well as here on YouTube. The freebie on YouTube will still continue, but you're getting extra sexy over there on Patreon as well. Right, so, and I hope everybody enjoyed their Sunday kind of journaling, kind of exercise and stuff. We've got some good stuff going on over there. We've got some good stuff, and I'm hearing good feedback about people who have this is not an upsell, but the people who do get the Expanse, which is from Protector level. All the blog posts, or majority of them, have like an Expanse bit, go a bit deeper, a little bit more kind of exercises or journaling or something like that as well. I'm getting good feedback. Thank you very much indeed for that. It's very nice for you, very nice. Right, enough of all that. Let's get into the question about World War III. Yay! Yay. Now, it's a big, hefty one from Alice here, and there's no upvotes, but mainly because of the fact that I saw it and I was like, you know what, this feels like the right time to tap into this. So, Alice says, and I'm going to read it because I don't think it's appropriate for this type of right. So, can you do a reading on if there will be a World War III in the next 20 years? Yes, we're going to do it. We've got to have a laugh though. It's a heavy subject, but we've got to have a laugh at some way, shape or form to keep it bouncy and light-hearted. There are quite a few people on YouTube saying that they're getting visions of the English-speaking countries, UK, USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, being invaded and occupied by an alliance of China, Russia, and a few others. And it's really brutal. Right. So, yes, in some respects. The issue, I wanna ensure that we go off on this in a good way. It is not for me to judge other people's viewers and visions and all that kind of malarkey. Okay, that's not it's not my place to be. All right. I have noticed that there has been an increase on this subject. I will say that there are multiple vested interests that we've discovered on this channel as we've gone through, who are all in. Isn't it interesting that we're talking about the English languages here, but at the same time, a majority, apart from the USA, are all leaning, including the EU, all leaning towards China at the moment, almost as if it's orchestrated in a particular type of way. So it's a bit more complicated than what you've put there, but as you said, you're saying what other people are saying. There are like 20 different people getting similar things. Is this vision true? So we can check whether or not they're on the right zone or stuff, but like I said, it's not our place to judge, right? Or is this a timeline we are moving away from that most of us aren't on? Oh, let me read that again. I'm having a dyslexic moment as well. PTSD, dyslexia, fun mix. Or is this on a timeline we are... okay. Yeah, right. Do you get these visions to warn people to start behaving better and get into the right timeline? That is a bigger question. Yes and no. Is that clear as mud? I hope so. I think part of it is all of it really is to go for our highest good. Yeah, our greatest good. That's the reason why the name of the channel and all this kind of malarkey exists. It's for the greatest good, not for me. I'm not saying my standard is great. It's a reminder for everyone that is what our ideal that we're supposed to be all achieving for. Okay, so I kind of get what you're saying there, but it's like it's kind of like you can only, and I've said this before, and I got a bit in trouble about this, or more people questioned it, I suppose, in some respect, which is good. You can only read ahead of a decision, in my humble opinion. But the decision is not necessarily in front of you. The real decision may have been 20 steps behind, 50 steps behind. And it's like then laid out a map, a plan, a stepping stones of where you're going next. So and we have had once in a while, like blue moon type scenario, that where we can't do a reading because the decision is hasn't been done down here. They're like on the fork. So pretty much every opportunity is available, every decision is available, every possibility. You see what I'm saying? So I think we've only had one this year, or at least since Christmas, kind of where it was like, they need to make the decision, and then it kind of lays out and where the energies are going and that kind of thing. But overall, how I see it is not necessarily to warn people, but to kind of reject it, I suppose is the best way to describe it. Instead of taking, almost like being pacifists, kind of like we're just taking on all these burdens and stuff like that, which is taking us out of kind of spirituality, being enlightened, to reject it, to actually return to sender, to go, no, I don't agree with this. I don't want this. Send it back. And because of that, and it's not just happening with people who are kind of in the zone, which like the Greatest Good Village is, I hope, part of, but also people who don't know what on earth they're doing. Okay? people in the real world who are like, I reject this, stuttery stammer. I reject this. I reject, and that's why we're watching it in real time. That the karma has come back. It's going in real time. The government is ground to a halt. Labour is ground to a halt. The civil servants are ground to a halt. The parliament is ground to a halt. They're stuck in the mud. Yeah. So we're watching it in real time as case study, if you so. Okay. So I don't necessarily say to warn people to kind of preppers kind of thing, even though everyone should have a little kind of emergency pantry ready to go. However, it's more using the basics of kind of like energy flow. And I know that's going into kind of realms of crazy, but also remember that you were taught that when you were like 10. Kind of solids, they vibrate in one direction. Liquid vibrates in a different direction. Gas, loosey-goosey. Yeah. So we know this. We've been taught this yonks ago, but it's taking it to another level. Okay. That's how I see it. Anyway, Alice continues. They say they are able to launch this attack and invasion as China has a sleeper agents who are getting all the military secrets and nuclear locations and codes from the Western countries, and based on what I've read elsewhere, this sounds a bit accurate. Well, they are. This is the thing. There's a lot of vested interest right now, and we're focusing on particular China. And if you couple that with WEF, who also are all trying to move from, and have been for some time, a couple of years now, move from the US and the dollar as the reserve currency and moving it towards, the yen and China. And that's why all of a sudden Macron and Mark Carney, that numpty, and like Stuttery Starmer, and they're all leaning now towards China. And that's why a couple of weeks ago I also said, just watch their actions. Are they leaning towards the ideals of rights, liberties, freedoms of America? Or in their actions, are they locking down and trying to align more with China? Yeah? I don't sense necessarily that it's a traditional, it's almost like pandering in some respects to make some money for these people. That's the issue here that I have anyway. So, but let's have a look into this. Let's have a reading on World War III in the next 20 years. And see whether or not these other visions, these other readings are in sync, or are they different things, or what people are saying, and blah, blah, blah. What is the vision true from others for the greatest good for all concerned? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Always be appreciative. Yes. What a bouncy, lovely start to the week. Kind of makes... Yeah, I'm dragging you down to my level, baby. I'm trying to, like... This is what it's felt like all weekend. You have some now. No, don't burden yourself. Don't reject it. Don't return it to me either. Don't you dare. So let me have a look into this. Two more, okay, and then I will push the button to get rid of the question for you. One, two, and there, look, I pushed the button and it goes. Isn't that nice? So for the new boys and girls, we do all the shuffling and everything so that you can see it. So you see that I'm not stacking the deck or anything like that, and we all see the cards at the same time. Okay. Occasionally there is some waffle while I'm doing the shuffling, just to keep you entertained, baby. That's all it is and flirt outrageously as always. So bear with us. And there's the foundation of the reading, what we're going to just about do. There's the energy surrounding it all, which is what we consider gossip, the gossip area. And then there is always an outcome at the end. Okay, so let's have a butcher's. Oh, eyes on the prize. There's Stuttery Starmer and his ilk, plotting, planning, scheming. Burdens, 10 of... Wow! Well, that's the burdens that we were talking about. That's the rejection of that to what we actually want. Do you see what I'm saying? I love... if you scroll back like 2 minutes ago, where I was like, I prefer that we return it to sender, and that like they're trying to send us burdens and all that kind of stuff. Literally right there. There we go. This is you and me, baby. This is Stuttery Starmer and his ilk. It's not just Stuttery Starmer, but he's the one that's turned up, okay? So he's got eyes on the prize, vision, intent, going towards World War III, going towards moving towards China, moving towards the situations, a new world order, which is also being like buzzwords going around in politician speeches in the last, month? If you've noticed, Carney has said it. I think, off the top of my head, I think Macron said it. Under von der Leyen, she said it. You've got to say it like that, so delicate and feminine. And how do we get away with this? But obviously we don't, because YouTube is censoring. Anyway, the point is, it's been coming up quite a lot recently. Okay, so that's that kind of ilk there, plotting, planning, scheming, trying to burden us, but we're rejecting it because happily ever after. Ten of Pentacles, wealth, fortune, money, that kind of malarkey. It's not just money, it's values as well. It's worth. Okay, it's not just the bank account. Okay, with the Ten of Pentacles, remember that. Quick movements, quick decisions, quick. Okay, Six of Cups, wanting to go back to a more traditional time. This feels like you and me. Instead of these burdens, we want to go back to a more traditional time, how it used to be, all that kind of stuff. But they're plotting, planning, scheming to just keep moving, keep adding burdens, more this, more that. Change. Notice over here that obviously with both tens, beginning new cycles. It's up to the peak. It's going to reset. It's going to change here. Okay. And then we've got the unknown, leaning into faith. It's literally the introduction that... I don't know why we're wasting our time with this expensive cardboard. I literally... the introduction, the waffle that I said. Leaning into that faith. Yeah? The unknown card is one of the 4 extra cards in this deck for the new boys and girls. We know what's inside this egg. Okay? We don't have to smash it open and go, oh, look, there's a chick. And then try to Humpty Dumpty put it back together again for the chick to come out, right? And grow and get ready, yeah? We know there's a chick inside. Let's leave it alone. It'll come out when it's ready, okay? Having faith in the situation. So this here, these 2 strips here, this is us. We want to go back to a more traditional time. And we're wanting to kind of lean into that faith some more. So, sexy. Very, very sexy. I have said several times the real vision that I've been getting right now, and some people have gone a bit kind of like squeaky bum time about it, but I actually think it sounds quite sexy. The best vision to explain where I see this going is similar to Goodnight, Mr. Tom. That kind of era. Obviously, they're at World War II. It's a bit scary. But I mean, like that kind of era with modern technology. So it's a reset. There's a kind of sorting it out, chilling out. It's a much more communal time. It's a much more kind of innocent time, that kind of thing. Much more localized, much more chilled out, a lot more relaxed than all these burdens up here. Okay, which are purposeful by design, plotting, planning, scheming. Okay, and they're quickly doing them as well. Universe. Oh, okay. So we have faith here, but they've got the universe with us. Okay, so the universe this is the real kind of tussle back and forth. Infinite growth, infinite possibilities, infinite. But which side is going to win? Okay, this is the real. They're trying to, and I don't want to label, because we don't. Hold on, it's getting a bit warm. I'm gonna flash a bit of wrist. You dirty minxes. This here, all of this is I hate labeling it, but this is kind of like plotting a planning scheme for unnatural things, unnatural legislation, moving away from jury trials, locking down kind of privacy, or not locking it down, opening it up so and instead of like blowing up privacy, I should say, really. All sorts of shenanigans. There was even a report where, and this is off the top of my head, so this is not this broad strokes, okay? This is not necessarily it, but there was I retweeted it, I believe, last night, or I saw it last night, where they, within a government report, they're basically saying encryption should also be seen as kind of like a terrorist kind of bad thing, and against national security and things like that. So any supplier who gives or uses like things like WhatsApp, Signal, even to some extent Apple devices, all sorts of shenanigans that automatically give you encryption, though, like Apple, Meta via WhatsApp and so on and so forth, they are going against the national security, national interest, blah, 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 that kind of thing. And I was like, what? That? So you're going, because this is how stupid these people are. Because if you follow that out, that means banking apps can't be encrypted. Do you see? So the connection, so they're exposing you to all this, or they're planning to, or in the process of, with the Eight of Wands, exposing you to all this shenanigans, ID stealing and all that kind of stuff, solely so that they can break apart your privacy, pull it apart to then to do their own ilk and their own thing. So for them, they want infinite growth, infinite possibilities, infinite control, basically. For us, it's infinite growth, infinite possibilities, infinite for our rights, our liberties, our freedoms, etc., etc. That's the pinpoint there. We've also got the Chariot. We're determined, baby. We've got the determination. They're acting quickly, but we're determined. We're stuck. Like they're stuck in the mud. We're having a temper tantrum. I'm seeing the kind of like, as a collective, kind of sitting down, crossing our arms and kind of doing the You know, when occasionally, thankfully, we don't have arguments over here. We just need to calm down a little bit, and we'll come back when we're ready. But when you see a couple having a little bit of a spat, a little bit in public, and you shouldn't be doing, but they're having a little. They can't control it. They're on the flow. They're in the process of it going to build the thing, but they're trying to keep it like so. They're like things are happening, and then all of a sudden, one of them has a pout face. This is collective pout face. This is kind of pout face, crossed arms, sitting down. I'm having but there's like 60 million of us that all do 70 million. How many there are, we don't even know anymore. But that's the collective pout face of no, this is not what we're having. This is. And then the bottom here, Two of Pentacles, topsy-turvy. This is built on sand again. That image, that vision, that the tower is all, the foundations are sand. It just gets washed away by the water, the topsy-turvy craziness. Okay, so it's instability. The issue is instability for all of us. Okay, they're bringing us all down. Notice none of this right now is about war. This is a snapshot of now, basically, or in the next 2 weeks, roughly. Okay, so this is now. Overarching energy, Four of Cups. Chilled, relax, taking a moment, taking a beat. Okay? Victory, success. Ain't too far behind. It's in the area. So when Alice was talking about timelines and all that kind of stuff, it's not that far away. We can nib this in the bud quite quickly. It's in the area. It's in the postcode. It's like a Deliveroo I've seen from other people. I've never done one of these kind of like delivery things, but it's like Just Eat Deliveroo kind of thing where I've seen where they're like, oh, they're in the region, they're in the area. Or one of those Ubers. I've seen a friend like years ago, like, oh, it's only 4 minutes away, 5 minutes away on a blinking kind of thing. It's that kind of area. It's within the neighbourhood, this victory. So we're not far off. Determined, doubling down, quick movements, but it's unravelling. Primarily, it's unravelling because they had the arrogance to think it would continue to go. And this is why, cue the eyes rolling, I keep bashing on about Pluto in Aquarius. I know other planets in different areas and different places and different things, and it's like all part and parcel. But I love the Pluto because it's within 20 odd years each chapter as it keeps moving, and so it gives you a kind of. It's like the subject line to an email. It's like this email, this chapter is going to be this overall, which is all about freedoms, which is all about small governments instead of big governments. Instead of centralized control, which we were before, this is now the little guy. Good night, Mr. Tom. Back to the village, back to the community, kind of like chilling out, doing, it's not work. It's more about kind of like that. And I know this is a bit of a douchey thing to say, but it's that work-life balance that used to exist, but with modern technology. Okay. So insecurities right at the bottom here. That's the bit that worries me. That's the only bit that worries me. Destabilize, almost like to get to this universe. I know it's like going up river. If you kind of see it that way, the current comes down to the pinpoint here. I know that this is going back on the flow, but I'm getting drawn to this kind of thing to get to their infinite growth, infinite possibilities, infinite control, all that kind of stuff. They've got to purposely destabilize the situation even more to create the problems to then have their solutions automatically. Yeah? I hope that makes sense. Because it barely made sense to me. So let's have a look into the gossip thing here. Let's have a look at this level to find out where this is going. But I like this. I like this a lot. And I do like the fact that we've got the unknown card as well, because it doesn't have to have a label to it. Faith doesn't have to have a label. It's more the fact, and I have mentioned it a few times, where even people who, it's almost like they're using a muscle they don't realize they have. Manifesting things, gut reaction, that kind of stuff, which is their intuition. People have multiple different languages or words to describe the same thing. There is no distinction. Okay? So there's a lot of times where people naturally create things, manage things, do things, where they don't realize that they're tapping into that muscle. For example, the easiest example that I keep on giving is kind of when people are in debt. They focus on the debt. It's the wrong thing to focus on, but they focus on the debt. And so magically, somehow, there's another bill, there's another fine, more debt comes in, more expenditure is expected, more and more and more, because they're focusing on the wrong thing. Okay, now I'm not saying ignore it, la 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 la, fingers in ears. No. What I'm saying is, if you focus on the positive output, so how can I make more money? Can I get more overtime? Can I make a side hustle? Can I, like, all sorts of shenanigans, where the money from that naturally pays off the debt. Same thing happens. The outcome is exactly the same. The debt is sorted. But by focusing on that positive, then suddenly the debt is sorted. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's kind of controlled instead of focusing on it and then somehow manifesting more and more and more and more. Right. I hope that makes sense. I really do. So, King of Wands. Detained, imprisoned, exactly. Trapped. It's not just Statri Stama, it's the ilk. Like, going back to what we were talking. You know what? We should just edit. We don't do edits, but we should just kind of go, listen to that, that little introduction. That's it. Two of Wands. That's the passion here. Going against. This is the returning of sender. This is you and me, baby. The passion, the outrage, the kind of how dare you do this to us. Returning the sender. To sender even. The burdens. Okay? So they're becoming burdened, not us. We're focusing on our health. Not just the health of the physical, you and me, kind of bodies and the wiggly bits, but also the health of the community, health of family, health of, the humble abode, the health of what we focus on, what we want to focus on, what we want to nourish. 10 of Pentacles, there we go. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Chef kiss. Mwah. Yeah? So that's why they're stuck. This is why everything's grinding to a halt. This is why they're temper tantrum even more. We're having a pout. They're having a temper tantrum. That's why all of a sudden, across all these places, they're desperately trying to ensure their great vision, their great plan comes to fruition. But they can't. We're in control now. The energy's back to the little guy instead of centralized control. This is phenomenal. So, 8 of Wands, surveillance. This is straight away trying to cover their tracks. That's the court desk. What's it called? Which is all of a sudden very sneakily kind of paused. The deletion of that has now been kind of going to start being reviewed. They've deleted some, but that I believe there are more records and things. They've got stuff, right? There is, through journalists and stuff, we've discovered that, right? On a previous reading. But this is very much, there's evidence of the scandal. There's evidence of shenanigans, of this doubling down, quick movement, quick decisions, stuff like that. We're seeing it in real time, because it's not just the figureheads who are now stuck, okay? And this is by design. It's the rot behind them. It's clearing out the rot. We're seeing it with Statri Stama right now, and this is just one example of him trying to replace the cabinet secretary with the woman that supposedly records were... did you read this? There was... The reports on her in an ethics and something rather, I can't remember the exact title of the department, but the ethics department, someone broke in and stole it from the safe. Magically. Isn't that odd? Isn't that weird? How that can happen? In these secure buildings, suddenly someone steals it from the safe. Surveillance. They can't get away from this. Even like the bombshell from the CPS, where Statri Stama's name is right on the report of what they want to do with these ASBOs. Let's call it that, because we've got to be careful with YouTube and stuff like that. For a certain type of gang, they'd be giving out these ASBOs, and he was part of it and all that kind of stuff. That's crazy to me. That's just crazy. But it explains a lot, though. It really does explain a lot. But yeah, evidence. 6 of Cups. Disaster. Yeah, okay. This is not a complete disaster. We're turning the corner here. before it becomes. Okay? We can now see the destination they want for us. So we're like, we've got wreckage already. You've caused damage already. Now we can see where the destination is that you ilk, have been working towards for like 50, 60, 80 years or whatever, through families, through Rothschilds, through all sorts of shenanigans. We see it now. These were all called conspiracy theories before, and now they've all pretty much come to fruition. The fact that bloody King Obama, who over the like in the last couple of days talking about aliens all of a sudden. One thing, like a rule of thumb, if you take nothing else from this reading, okay? Rule of thumb, from my own experience, every time they go, oh, aliens, for you to look up, you should do the absolute opposite and look down. Look around. What are they trying to do? Yeah? Every time they tell you to look down, you look up. Do the complete opposite of like the viewing of the decision that they're trying to make you do. Similar to the Atlas 3i thing, yeah? And the comet and stuff. Very interesting. We're still en route, it seems, for that reading going back a bit. But it would constantly look up, look up, look up, look up, look up. Why? What are you doing? What decisions are you doing over here? What are you doing over there? What are you see what I'm saying? Do the opposite. Because 9 times out of 10, distraction so that they can get and do something. Sign a treaty, do a thing. Right, so we don't want to lose it completely. We want to go back to the Six of Cups. The unknown card. Duties. Wow. And a lot more people are becoming enlightened. So your duties here are to kind of counteract energetically what's going on. And we're naturally doing it. And I think this is the reason why it's got to that peak. So many people have woken up to the issues that so many people are all collectively, even though they don't know they're doing it, returning it to sender. So we need to keep going. Okay? Not only do we need to keep going, but it's peaceful, keep quiet. Yeah? Peaceful. We don't need to make a fuss, a stink. We don't need to do anything that they want you to do, rile them up, do something so that we can arrest you or detain you or this, that, the other you, blah, blah, blah. Just, no, we reject this. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, but then you're racist and you're this and you're thatist and thatist and thatist and that. No. That's not me. That label I reject. That's not me. It's, and we saw it a couple of weeks ago with Rachel Reeves, where she implied when, I can't remember, it was Zia Youssef said something about British people and stuff like that. She instantly went, wow, he's only talking about white people. He's only talking about white. It's like, excuse me, who's the racist here? It's like, no. British people are all shades of colours. British people are, beautiful people. What are you on about? We're a lovely mixture of different backgrounds and Hindus and Sikhs and all, like Buddhists and all sorts of shenanigans here. We've got amazing tapestry here. Why are you focusing on like white man van kind of style shenanigans kind of imagery of do you see what I'm saying? It's like, no. The issue, and I found it fascinating because I was a bit confused actually why Telegraph kind of snipped. They did a long form video for that Matt Goodwin fella, and he spent, obviously because he's a professor and stuff, he spent a good couple of minutes, 3 minutes or so, explaining the differences between British and Englishness, right? Britishness and Englishness. And what I found, so I watched it because I was like, I'm intrigued. I'm like keeping up with, like keeping out the echo chamber as much as I can, looking at what other people are doing. I was like, oh, he's doing an interview. Let's listen to what he's got to say, kind of thing. So I'd seen the full shebang. Over the weekend, or maybe even Friday, I don't know, it's all blurring together at the moment, but at some point I saw a kind of like a YouTube short TikTok style, the vertical video of exactly the same video I've already seen, where they'd edited it around so that it looked like he was only talking about Englishness on this particular subject and stuff. And it's like, that's a bit dodge. Even I'm like, but I've seen the full 9-minute video or 8-minute, whatever it is. So I could tell that you're kind of taking one thing over here and then the Englishness comment over here to make it kind of like something else slightly different. And that's not what he said. That's not what, it's almost like a Trumpy Trump kind of BBC style-y thing. That's not technically what he said. Admittedly, it's not an hour apart in Trumpy Trump situation, but it's taken out a remarkably big chunk explaining the differences between Britishness and Englishness. Yeah. I digress. There may have been a tangent there. Let's bring it back. Right. So you may have noticed a little bit of a tangent. Universe. All airborne. So this here is the media. This is the ideology of this cult they're a part of. Alphabet spaghetti is basically what we normally call it, isn't it? EU, UN, WEF, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And I did notice today, before I did this reading, that good old Nige over there at Reform has been kind of discussing about how he's going to remove, when it voted in, remove from certain treaties, for certain things, blah, blah, blah. And the fact that when he said that, it's this. It's right here. It's connecting together. It's like by doing that, it's pulling apart the apparatus that they're doing to try and control it instantly. The power. Not just the ECHR, which is always been bashed on about, but there's a whole kind of plethora, I don't know, a library of legislation that is purposely inserted to be able to do all sorts of shenanigans like what they're trying to do. But they're stuck. They can't do it. There's all this evidence of scandal. Interesting that they're all focusing on Mountbatten, isn't it? This weekend continually, even though he's the 8th in line. What disgusting situation has to happen for it to finally get to 8th? Distraction. Why is Mandelson? Yeah, all that kind of shenanigans. Evidence of craziness happening. Chariot, wake up. There we go. This is the enlightenment down here, what they're trying to prevent. Woken up, enlightened. Okay? So the determination of pout face, kind of like sitting down, crossed arms, they doing it quietly. They're not, you and me, we're not doing it in a violent way or an attacky way or anything like that. But we're all kind of like, no, we're all on strike, as an example. No, screw you. No, pouty face, had enough, done. While we're also returning to sender even more. They're stuck. They can't do anything. 2 of Pentacles. There's the rulership handover. Okay? So they think, even though it's spreading, people realizing, people who've got access to AI as well. I've got access to AI here. As I've discussed previously, it's like, I'm using it to compare different scriptures and different resources and historical books and texts and things from different religions and kind of like New Age and all that kind of stuff to find the messages throughout all of them. Because for me, if it's repeated 8 or 9 times across all scriptures and all platforms and all that kind of stuff, that's a universal truth. Do you see what I'm saying? That then I can like work on more and create more resources for you guys via Patreon to like focus in on this particular kind of subject matters and how to do it. Like they're all saying the same thing. This is the language you need to speak. This is the way. This is where the whole prayer thing. And I know we keep going back to it, but it's such a basic, fundamental thing, and people are getting the feedback I'm getting is the results is instantaneous. It's like prayer is not meant to be spoken out loud. It's a feeling. Okay, so prayer, you can use your kind of internal voice to say the prayer. You can even follow along with somebody who's speaking the prayer, but you've got to feel it. How does that make you feel? Okay, and then, because then you're talking the right language for God, Spirit, Universe, whatever you're talking about. Okay, it's an instant change, and it's suddenly you're in the zone, if you get me. So we've got the rulership handover because they think it's the packaging, it's Stuttery Starmer, it's these all these other people that are like, it's the problem. It's the branding is the problem. Overarching it, security camera, exactly. Even more scandals, even more craziness. Like I said, it's not just the figureheads, it's the rot behind them. All this scandal, all this craziness, underlying energy, banking system. Wow, we really are going to the heart of this. So behind us and the snapshot of now is victory is in the neighborhood. Here, it's all about money, which is going back to another reading we've recently just done, where it's all about money. Okay? So it's not about ideology. It's not about Russia. It's not about China. It's not about this, that, the other. It's all about which is the best way to make money. Simple as that. And when I say money, it's similar to the Ten of Pentacles. It's the money, the value, the worth of things. So it's land, it's property, it's intellectual technology and property there, patents, etc., 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 etc. As you know, I'm looking into what Erendors and I are aiming, going towards, going to get to our farm, homestead, small holding, whatever you want to call it. And recently, I've been researching a lot more into fruits, vegetables, and different types of produce, I suppose, as an overall term, that we used to grew for hundreds of years, thousands of years in some cases. And then all of a sudden, because industrial farming came along, it was too difficult to harvest that. It was too difficult to package that. It was too difficult to transport that freshly to get to the supermarket in a reasonable amount of time, that kind of thing. And then bit by bit, all these different other resources, these other fruits and vegetables and produce and stuff were removed out of our diet. So it's one of those situations where I'm now trying to find how can we bring those back in on the farm, on the homestead, whatever, where we're, and there was some very interesting, like there was one that, like, some of them, they grow like weeds. Yeah, they grow themselves. You don't have to replant them every year. You just like plant, set, forget, take what you want, and then rebury the rest of the roots, for example, and all that kind of stuff, and it will just prosper and just keep on going. I can't remember its name now, but it was like an alternative to like a parsnip. It was like anyway, it's that kind of thing. So it's the value here that's most important. Instead of focusing on big manor houses, and you do you, boo, obviously, but instead of focusing on the luxury and as like the focusing on the lack, why don't I have that? Why don't I have this? Disconnecting you from your kind of true purpose, as it were. Focusing more, because obviously that is the banking. You know, they want constant growth, don't they? Growth, 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 growth. But if you focus more on what sustains me and my family, what enables me and my family, that kind of thing, suddenly the banking, it's like the value, the money is it's worth more than the actual what's on paper. Do you see what I'm saying? The deed or whatever it is. And that's what they don't want you to have. But I like this here. We see the damage, how much has been caused. We want to prevent it, but it's airborne. Yeah. But more people are waking up. More people are pouty face. More people, and then it's just the branding. It's just the people that are saying this stuff. Right. Outcome. Yay! We finally got here. Right. Oh, where is it? There is my coffee. I found my coffee. Cheers, my dears. So the outcome here, I think, is one of two ways right now. It's finding out when this kind of replacing Starmer, how that's going to go. That normally comes up as a Queen of Wands for Rayna recently. Sorry, I found more coffee. Or whether or not this snowball is the best way to describe it. Because remember, look, we are now this triangle here. We've expanded. They're now just down this line. This is pretty. And I'll remind you once again, as we're shuffling this, the biggest lie, the biggest delusion, I suppose, that the government tells you is that, and it's through the names of things, everything has a different logo, a different CEO style person running it, and all that shebang. They're all the same. They're all the state. They're all the like part of the problem. Okay, they are all part of their right think. Yeah. It doesn't stop at the border. It continues on. Okay. So let's have a look here. Outcome to this reading, please. The greatest good for all concerned. Thank you. Always be appreciative. Mm-hmm. One more. Okay, one more. There we go. Okay, so putting the work in again. Okay, so the rule. Blah, blah, blah. I can speak. Shut up. Rulership, handover, putting the work in, trying to make it happen again. Reviewing the situation. Where did we go wrong? Okay. We've got Hawk Lady. Very nice indeed. Okay. So while we're passionately trying to hold them back, and that's what do you think you're doing? Outrageous, all that kind of stuff. They're like, okay, what are the missing links? What the new way forward here? How are we going to do it to get this where we want it to be, where we benefit somehow, shape or form? Them, not us. So we've got Hawk Lady. So this is a Garden of Eden. This is what we're building. Once again, we keep on growing, keep on building. We're not being bombarded by this anymore. Okay. Remember, it's the health of our lives, our family, our wealth, our our existence. How is it going? And we're now building towards the Garden of Eden for our own personal kind of area, right? The Sun card here, happy home. Wonderful. 1111, make a wish. Okay, celebrations, along with the Ten of Pentacles, along with the Sun card, happy, happy, joy, joy. We're in the groove, baby. So that's why they've got to reset, got to redo, kind of re-examine where we went wrong, and we've got to try and put it into like actions and stuff under a different name. But they can't, because the truth, knowledge, wisdom, clarity, information, data, evidence underneath there. The truth is scuppering them. And it keeps coming in quick, thick and fast. I have never seen so many breaking news like until in the last month or two. It's really, if you notice as well, it's constant, where people are finally coming out of the shadows and kind of like, no, excuse me, no, holding them all accountable. Disaster wreckage. Moving on to calmer shores. Exactly. Judgment, the trumpet of truth. So this is on we're doing our truth, baby. Yeah? We're there doing our, leaning into our faith with the universe deck. We're leaning into being grounded, journaling, meditating, moving, like topping up that spiritual fuel tank that I keep on bashing on about. Yeah? We've got security all of a sudden. Yeah? We've been following false prophets, as it were, as a nation, and now it's reset. We're finally following where we're supposed to be, in alignment. Yeah? Soul, third eye, higher self, higher being, all in alignment. Okay? So, airborne, inward fighting. They can't decide which way to go first, which way to attack, which way to scupper this. Suddenly they're trying to also defer, what's the word I'm looking for? Divert blame to other departments and people and places and things and all sorts of shebang. They're up in their own drama, okay? Meanwhile, we've got Garden of Eden. We've got Happy Home. We're moving on. We're speaking truth, coming from a place of truth. Yeah, we're quite literally following, obviously you do you, boo, as always, but we are tapping in to God's spirit universe, his angel team, archangels, ascended masters, all that kind of jazz. However you're connecting, we're listening in, we're in tune again. Surprise attack. There will be grief. How did we let it get this bad? Is one that just popped in. How did we get it to this situation, the brink? And remember, this started off as the World War III, kind of tapping in with Alice here. We've and we'll review the question at the end to ensure that we've covered everything. But this is divinely guided. This is by design. This is whatever you want to call it. Even though they're trying to double down and try and get in like another back door or whatever, truth constantly coming out, bombarding. Rulership handover, Ace of Cups. A new offer. Notice that, and this is why I love kind of numerology and the pretty pictures. So we've got the Five of Cups here. Yeah, grief. How did we get it this far? All that kind of stuff. We've got the two extra cups behind us. We're not acknowledging the true value of things, maybe. Realizing what we do have access to. We may have lost time and effort and things like that. But we've got a sense of grounding, maybe. Sensibilities, understandings, how we want to move forward, etc. behind us. And then we've got the Ace of Cups here to replace the Three of Cups that have spilt milk. So we've now got Three of Cups again. Going back to communities, celebrations, working together, that kind of energy. Okay? So they're inward fighting, trying to push blame onto other people because the truth is outrageous. Yeah, and getting bigger and bigger and bigger because it's all the rot that needs to come out. Okay, not just the figureheads; it's the Jobsworths in the supervisors and everything that all need to be cleared out. And we've got it down here. We're now suddenly, so while they're in fighting and possibly going towards court cases and that kind of thing, down here we are focusing on what's truly valuable. Okay, reconnecting to that overarching energy, Hierophant, rules and regulations, law and order. The rules of the game, universal rules that we were talking about previously, that I'm researching and trying to work on more for you. But this is what we're talking about here. We're reconnecting to a higher self, higher being. Yeah? We're following the dogma of that. If you're organized religions or New Age, I don't care. The destination that matters, right? That's what I've always said. You do you, boo. It's all there. Meanwhile, this side, they can't cope that this two-tier system is now completely over. This whole concept of do what I do, do what I say, not what I do, and all that kind of stuff. They're all getting their karma. They're all getting their comeuppance. Underlying energy. Tower. Yes, baby. Coming apart. Coming apart. What I will say there is this, to bring it back to Alice's question and stuff like that. They had, even though they're trying to escalate in Ukraine, even though they're trying to do all sorts of shenanigans and like a European army and all that kind of shebang, their opportunity was ended in 2024. 2025? 2024. When it Pluto in Aquarius blopped in a bit, technical term, blopped in, then reversed a bit, and then it blopped in again. So I can't remember specifically when it did its kind of reverse and then back in again. But it was in November. Was it? No, it can't have been last year. It feels like it's longer than that. Have you noticed that time is just going really fast recently? Like the Etch-a-Sketch end of the world is happening. Restart, reborn, renew, all this over that we've just talked about here. For someone, I will say that it's just plopped in. For someone, this is making amends with relationships, friends, families, that kind of thing. The wasted time there. I'll just say that for, I don't know who that is for, but anyway. But it like they were arrogant that they can continue on while we're Pluto into Aquarius. Okay? And this is just the beginning of the reset, the real reset. This is suddenly they're losing their controls. They're going against the grains. They're going against what is meant to be at this time in history. And we've got about 20 years to fix it. Okay? So it can never happen again. So, and this is why truths are coming out. More and more burdens, more and more imprisonment for them, more and more trapped. They can't get out of it, stuck in the mud, like we said at the beginning. So, my recommendation, so that's why we're not going to World War III right now. Okay? We've already changed. If you want to call it a timeline shift, you can call it a timeline shift. But it's like, I think what we really need to focus on is what we truly value as a community, as a family, as an individual, and then work towards that kind of thing. Hence, homestead, small holding, whatever you want to call it over here. Okay? So we're not going, even though they're trying to escalate it, they're stuck in the mud, they can't do it. They can't get rid of, no matter how many times they try, jury trials is basically going to continue. Everything's ground to a halt. Okay? The machinery, the gears have stopped. And so we're moving on. Okay? We've come to the brink. We're now going back. Multiple metaphors you can use there. So I not to diminish other people's readings and not to diminish other people, what the people have been saying. How I think overall here, as you've witnessed, we're not going to go to the brink. We're going to pull it back. And they've got lots to answer. Rules and regulations, they've got to answer a lot. There's something else here that I'm trying to tap into. It keeps fluttering in and then fluttering out again. And it's happened like the fourth time now, and it's bugging me now. So I'm just trying to tread water to see if it plops in again to put it on the record type thing. The final thing I would say is is at the moment we are still on here for that, I would say, 18-month blip. Okay? And what I said about the blip is that things are going to get a little worse before they get better. So things like, almost like wartime, I know we're talking about a lot of war here, but wartime kind of mentality, instead of grass, grow fruit and veg and that kind of thing. If you haven't got a pantry, please do. Stock up on food. That kind of thing. I don't think it's going to actually get to rations in the official sense. It's just going to be rationed in the what can we afford right now sense. Okay. If you can bulk buy, that kind of thing. For that 18-month blip is the best way to describe it. This reset thing. But we are moving to calmer shores, happy home, all that kind of stuff. We're all in the going towards the sexy. So I'm going to leave this here. Oh, excuse me. Oh, there's something there that they don't want me to say. Sorry, excuse me. Throat chakra suddenly just went blah, blah, blah. All these technical terms today. It's amazing. There's something here that they don't want me to say. Hold on. Dinky deck. I was going to... Oh, we haven't even done the Kipper deck yet. What is it that they don't want me to say? Let me get the dinky deck and quickly just tap into this, because there is something here that... What is it they don't want me to say? What is it they don't want me to say? What is it they don't want me to say? Mm-hmm. So, overarching energy. There's the Queen of Wands, baby. Okay, taking charge. Lovers. Ace of Wands. Reviewing the situation, new foundations. Lovers is the community here that we were talking about. Okay, Ace of Wands, new way forward, light bulb moment, aha moment. Okay, that's very nice. Reviewing the situation. They don't want us to review the situation because they're trying to be... Okay, this is going to be reestablished under different guises, different names, different department names. It's the same shebang. This won't get the hint. That's what they don't want to... Did I do the underlying energy? 10 of Cups. But we got the 10 of Pentacles. We got the 10 of Wands, the burden, end of the cycle. We got the 10 of Pentacles, end of the cycle, happily ever after. We've got here with the 10 of Cups. Okay? So it's like, how many more times this cycle is ending? It's like, I've asked a stupid question, I'm getting a stupid answer. I get that, right? I get that. The 7 of Pentacles here is this ilk, this club. If they don't get arrested, if they don't get sorted in that respect, under the rules and regulations, it's almost like the zombie apocalypse. They're going to come back somehow under new guises, new foundations, that kind of thing. So we've got lovers, commitment, once again, angel at the top there. Yeah. God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call them at the top there, making connections, that's the community. That's the good night, Mr. Tom shebang that I was talking about. Ace of Wands. Yeah, light bulb moment, aha moment. We don't need the big just-in-time distribution globalist kind of thing. We can build a lot of it here. We don't need all this tap. We don't need all the... With a good 3D printer and a garden out the back, we're pretty much sorted. It's that kind of like realization. With a few pieces of technology, some solar panels, a wind turbine, whatever, some batteries, we are set. We don't need the national grid, for example. We don't need this, that, and the other. We've been forced into believing that we need to be constantly suckling off the teat of all these different places, when really we can take control back. Okay, working together, taking control back. On this, so this taking charge here is you and me, baby, up here, and then what's left over of this clear out over here. Okay, so Seven of Pentacles, because they're ideology. It's a cult. Yeah, we've got to name it for what it is. It's a cult. The Seven of Pentacles, reviewing what went wrong. Same up here, but they're trapped at the moment, like in real time kind of thing. Trapped results. But later on, what they don't want to talk about is they're going to kind of reassemble again. Think of it as like Terminator 2. The only Terminator that anyone talks about. Terminator 2, you've got the T-1000 with all his kind of like the gooey thing, all coming back again and again and again. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. So how can we take control back? Yeah, so there is friction here. Right, Kipper deck, and then we'll leave. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to... But it's the light bulb moment here. That's what we really need to focus on. Working together and finding ways to eliminate all these people out of our lives. Yeah? It's... Yeah. I think we said enough there. There's a little blitz and blops, like giving examples about the water board and like electricity and all that kind of stuff. But you can get the filters delivered. You can produce a filter system. You can have your own well. You can do so many things now, technology-wise, that eliminates a majority of this shenanigans that they've built up around you, the cage around you, because the cage is now back on them. Yeah? So finish off with the Kipper deck. There's Labour holding the rose. Mature man. High honour keeps coming up. This is the standard we expect now. The mature man feels like the ideologues that set this off. So that would be kind of the George Soroses of the world. It's like that kind of ilk. The Klaus over at the WEF, all them crazy shenanigans over there, all those kind of old guard. Okay, great fortune again. 10 of Pentacles, great fortune. Poverty. So they're making money. Okay, they're making money on our poverty. They're not being high honor. Okay. May Mao. This is the new generation coming in. Okay. So it's one of those situations where, so like going back to the banking and all that kind of stuff, this is what we were talking about here. It's all about the books. It's all about making money as quickly as possible, where we're always the short end of the stick kind of scenario. But we're now wanting high honor. Okay. New generation, a new way forward. We've seen so many years of this now where it's like we can see the patterns and it's blatantly obvious now, as we were talking about earlier, and it's like enough's enough. Overarching energy, courtship, going back to the Lovers card. We can work this together. We can work this out, okay? And innocence. We are innocent in all of this, okay? That's the most hypocritical part about this, is that all of us are innocent about this, but we've been forced to conform in their world. But so they make money, the banking make money and all that kind of stuff. But now we want high honor. We want to get out of this. Yeah, enough's enough. We don't want to be out in the cold anymore. The main male down here. This is the new generation, the new way forward. If you're not high honor, then you're rejected. You're suddenly in the infighting with the Five of Wands. What's the underneath again? Oh, and Lovers again sneaked out. Partnerships. How many more times? Partnerships. But we're going to leave this here for now. So, yes, I get it, but we've now moved across. We're moving away from all that kind of stuff. The final thing I will say is you may have noticed I have a little cut here, a little boo-boo, right? This came from a nasty piece of kindling. It was a nasty thing that it thought it won the battle, but I won the war eventually. It was fine. So it's just boo-boo. However, I won. It doesn't matter. However, I'm going to leave this here. So World War III, it's coming back. We're coming back from the brink. It's fine, even though they're going to try and escalate it. We're all right. Just be careful of this transition, this 18 months or so of blip. Okay? Look into things like root cellars. Look into things like off-grid living, solar panels, that kind of thing. Okay? Collectively, between friends and family. Yeah? Lovers. How many times now? Anyway, until next time where we do this crazy shenanigans all over again. Take care. Look after yourself. Be well. And thank you for your company. I'll speak to you soon. See you later. Ta-ra.